In an earlier video, I mentioned one of my biggest regrets professionally was not consistently having a coach and mentor in my life. And I wanted to expand on that a little bit and give some examples from this week regarding where I was able to help four people through a coaching, mentoring relationship. And get very specific about that. Folks, every professional athlete has a coach, often multiple coaches to compete at that level. They have a nutrition coach, a strength coach, a mechanics coach, a coach for mental aspects of the game, a financial coach, and a fame coach, how to handle all this fame that they're coming up. That is how you compete at a high level. How do you expect to be at the top of your career field, financial field? How are you going to set yourself apart? How are you going to get that next promotion, get that raise? How are you going to retire early without having a coach to warn you of the pitfalls, show you the path that they have been on, that wisdom? You have blind spots. I promise you, everybody that I talk to, reviewing their financial plan, reviewing their game plan as a new plant manager, maintenance manager, there's things they miss. And it's not their fault that they miss them. You can't know everything all the time. A second perspective means everything, especially if that person has been on the same path. You have blind spots. A coach and mentor has gained that experience a lot of times through failure. And that's me is, I've failed so many times. I know I can give some pretty good advice on how to do it the next time because I did it wrong 5 times and finally did it right one time and then did that several times throughout my career. That's how you learn. But you don't have to learn through failure if you have a mentor and a coach. Think about how that can accelerate your career and your financial success if you don't have to make the mistakes and then recover from those because you learn from somebody else. You can do it a lot less time, gain confidence, avoid the pitfalls. What is that worth in your career and in your financial life? Arrogance. Here's what I want you to remember. Arrogance is the obstacle to your success. Embrace that. Arrogance. Okay? 3 examples, actually 4 examples from this week. My slide's wrong. For example, mentee number 1, I went through A3 thinking. A3 thinking is a method of problem solving. This was a brand new plant manager. I helped them, with 2 ways, both of us participate in this, outline the first 30 days on the job. Look at the business case, understand what you're trying to do. What's the measure of success? What does the lead team or your boss, what are they looking for? Your vice president. Wallow in current state 3 times as long as what you think you need to. So business case, get the current state through observation. What's your target condition from that? What's your actions? What are your measures of success? Think about 30-day actions to get some quick wins. Focus on current state, knowing that. So we walked through that, and this person left the meeting with extreme confidence from that way of breaking down your first 30 days. Mentee number 2, having a yesterday, today, tomorrow meeting. This is a meeting typically 8, 9 o'clock in the morning where you talk about KPIs that are important to the strategic goals of your business. And you review those. How did we do yesterday? Then you go through today. Hey, what concerns do you have? What help do you need to hit the KPIs for today? And what help do you need for hitting the KPIs tomorrow? Yesterday, today, tomorrow. Brings the team together. It's kind of like a pregame talk where you talk about what happened last game, you talk about this game, you talk about the next game. Yesterday, today, tomorrow meetings. Extremely powerful in very rapidly getting aligned, holding people accountable, and team building. What very powerful tool. I do this in every single job, have done it in every single job, I would say for 25 years. Mentee number 3, financial independence. This person, I helped them see the power of Social Security. This is something in the United States. It's really, I consider it my best asset. It's an asset that is adjusted for inflation up every year that I delay Social Security. I get, 7, 8% increase in the value. So a 7% fixed improvement, adjusted for inflation asset, name another asset that you can get that in. It's also longevity insurance. So it allows me to take risk in other assets. So, if I take risk in the stock market and the stock market just totally collapses by pushing Social Security out a number of years, maybe even to 70, I can live on just Social Security at age 70 if all my stocks happen to fail. So really taking a hard look at Social Security. So many people just want to take it at 62. Before it runs out of money, I want to get my money, and they don't look at it as an asset, standalone asset. How does it compete? It's number one for me. So that was mentee number 3. Mentee number 4 on financial independence was around taxes. This person had a great plan, great number of assets, but most of their assets were in pre-tax, and they basically had no plan for taking out those taxes. They were actually feeling pretty good because the first few years of retirement, they were paying no tax. But what they didn't see is, years 10, 11, and 12, when you start hitting RMD age, they were getting into the 32% tax bracket and even higher. So didn't have a long-term view of taxes, and I helped them see that. I use a software package, highly recommend it, called New Retirement. See the link below. Really helps you see your money flows. And for taxes, I haven't seen anything better. Playing what-if scenarios, looking at Social Security, the software suggests changes to you. It's just not, producing a graph for you to see. It says, you may think about this, you may think about that. You may delay Social Security 5 more years and it'll be worth this much more money to you. You may do this Roth conversion, it'll be worth this much less in taxes you pay. So those were 4 this week that I got involved with by having these people reach out to a coach or a mentor to help them through obstacles that these very smart people didn't see. So where do you get a coach or a mentor? You can ask your boss at work, say, hey, I'd like a coach, I'd like a mentor. If you have a big organization, they may be set up to do that. You can ask somebody you admire that's in business, completely different field, may not even be at your employment. Ask them. Somebody that you can share intimately your fears, your plans, your failures, your strengths with, and run things by. Typically, you'd like this person to be 1, even 2 layers higher in the organization than you are. It's good to have that advocate for you too, especially in your own company, to have that person know you and help, pull you along the corporate ladder if it's in the same company. So ask someone on LinkedIn, if someone you admire on LinkedIn, just, hey, people that are later in their career love helping out other individuals. I also do a little bit of this myself. I do have 3 openings right now. Hit my link below in every YouTube video. If you hit the show more, if you want to secure an hour of my time, there's a link to do that. I can't do this for everybody, but I do find myself right now with about capability of handling 3 more people. But that's, I don't want to do this full time. I am professionally retired. So successful people have a coach. Who is yours? This is Joe out.